Hi guys, this is Sherry. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to give you guys some codes, some news, things that have been going on. And I just want to let you guys know this is my third attempt. I've been trying to live stream for 2 times, but again, YouTube just keeps saying it's processing when I've already went through the live stream 2 times. So just letting you know this is my third time. So they're just trying to make my life hard. But again, I want to live stream. I want to put more videos out because there's a lot of messages. There's a lot of subliminal and psyops that are going out. So I'm going to continue with the lives. I'm going to continue with the codes. For the month of June and July, as I mentioned on my channel, June and July energetically are going to be one of the most enormous, massive, transformational, metamorphical, if that's even a word, for us, okay? For us as we're shifting into the new reality, into our new dimensional selves. So, I wanted to show what's been going on in the East and the West, and I wanted to show what's been going on in Korea. Most of the time, I would not pay attention to this information. I would not be clicking on news like this. But when I see messages like this, I have to show it, I have to relay it. So, we're gonna watch this video. We're gonna watch 3 minutes of it. It's a really well done video, so I highly recommend that you guys check it out. It's not all gossip. I'm not trying to transmit all the gossip. It's just, again, for us to know that the deep state, okay, the Canaanite bloodline, the parasitic elite, they're putting their messages out there. They're leaving and they're crumbling and they're doing it in different places. And this is what I wanted to show and put on the forefront so you guys can think about it and also talk about it. So yeah, guys, let's watch this video for about 3 minutes and let's see if it'll start.
Across the country, furious citizens are burning their Starbucks cups in the streets. The government has blacklisted the global giant from all public sectors. The police have launched active criminal investigations, and a panicked billionaire chairman is now watching his $4 billion empire burn to the ground. But why is South Korea deleting Starbucks from its society? It's definitely not what you think. And this is the insane, mind-blowing story of how extreme far-right internet trolls successfully infiltrated a global giant to mock a nation's darkest, blood-soaked historic trauma, turning a simple cup promotion into a full-blown national nightmare known as the Tank Day crisis. To understand the gravity of this situation, you first need to understand the unique space Starbucks has historically occupied in South Korean society. It isn't just a place to grab a quick caffeine fix. It's been a symbol of a modern, middle-class lifestyle, a neutral, politically safe haven where people study, work, and meet. But in mid-May of 2026, all that neutral ground completely evaporated. It all began on May 15, 2026, when Starbucks Korea launched a seemingly standard online promotion to sell its new large-capacity color tank tumbler set and Tank Duo set. To highlight the size of these tumblers, the marketing department branded the event Tank Day. And on paper, it sounds like a cheesy, uninspired corporate campaign. The fatal mistake, however, was that the peak of this promotion was scheduled for May 18th, and the promotional copy prominently featured the phrase 책상에 탁, which translates to tap on the desk or slam on the desk. To anyone unfamiliar with Korean history, this might seem like a harmless coincidence, but to the Korean public, seeing the word tank paired with the date May 18th alongside the phrase tap on the desk was a shocking, direct provocation. It was viewed as a cruel, calculated mockery of the two most painful, sacred milestones in South Korea's modern struggle for democracy. To comprehend why the public reaction was so fierce, you have to look at the blood and trauma attached to these specific symbols. May 18th and the tanks in Korea refer to the Gwangju democratization movement of 1980. In December of 1979, military general Chun Doo-hwan seized power in a coup d'etat. When the citizens of Gwangju stood up to protest the military dictatorship, the junta responded with unfathomable violence. They deployed heavily armed paratroopers, armored vehicles, and literally rolled tanks in the streets of Gwangju to brutally crush unarmed civilians. Hundreds of people were slaughtered, and for decades, the memory of those tanks has remained an open, deeply painful wound. Promoting a tank day on the literal anniversary of the Gwangju uprising was an unbelievable tone-deaf disaster. Now, the second phrase, tap on the desk, carries an equally dark historical weight. In January of 1987, a university student named Park Jong-chul was arrested by the dictator's anti-communist investigation unit. He was secretly water-tortured and beaten to death. When the media began asking questions about how a healthy 21-year-old student suddenly died in custody, the police commissioner held a press conference and gave one of the most infamous, insultingly lazy excuses in modern history. He literally stated, when the investigator tapped on the desk, the student went, and died of a heart attack. That single mocking lie ignited a nationwide wave of fury that eventually led to the June Democratic Struggle of 1987, which finally brought down the military dictatorship. So by combining tank on May 18th and with the copy tapping on the desk, Starbucks Korea had essentially built a marketing campaign out of the darkest chapters of Korea's fight for freedom. Now, if you're not interested in Korean history and this was boring you, let's just imagine it's something like September 11th in the US, and a corporate like McDonald's suddenly launches a flash sale event featuring a twin pack combo, and the corporate slogan is, boom, taste. The entire United States would instantly erase that company from existence. Executives would be dragged onto national television for corporate execution. And
Alright, guys, I'm gonna stop it there because I think you guys get the point. And I just wanted to find the guy right here. Okay, so this is the guy Shinsei Group, the CEO who's also behind the Starbucks Korea. And I was seeing Korean social media just really quick, and I don't know why, but they were pointing out his ears because they are saying that he got plastic surgery on his ears. Because in Korean or Asian culture, changing your earlobes, if you change your earlobes with physiognomy, I think it's called physiognomy, it indicates if you have a long earlobe, it indicates that you're going to be very fortuitous, you're going to be rich and prosperous in life. But also, I was just looking at him and he looks really weird. He doesn't look like how he used to in the past. So, again, this could indicate that he's not the same person, he's not the same CEO. He could be played by an actor, or it could be a skin mask because if you zoom into his ear, it's not a regular ear, but I can't be sure because, again, Korean plastic surgery is really prominent. So guys, what I want to put in the forefront of your mind is the word tank. So the word tank, Korea's hate culture, Korea's hate culture is very prominent. Its hate culture is disseminated throughout the entire Korean culture. It's a very sick and toxic culture that even elementary school students, they will mock victims of past tragedies. So they say, well, fairy tragedy, they have internet users just mocking people. But this uproar, this blatant psyop on the people, again, all of this is to cause a reaction. All of this is to put the population against each other. And this was, again, a psyop. This was to put two ideologies against each other. And a lot of people are calling this a communist move. A lot of people are starting to realize in Korea that there are people in the background, people in very high positions that have been disseminating this information, disseminating information that could be so-called communist, disseminating information that, again, is causing a reaction, and again, that is making the people continue in this toxic and hateful culture. So just put that in your mind, the tank. So this is what's going on in the east. And I also wanted to now show you guys this video about what has been going on in Southern California. And please put in the forefront of your mind the word tank, because that's what was going on in Korea. This is what's going on in California. All right, so let's listen to it.
California lawmakers and the governor are now appealing to the White House to make a disaster declaration. Authorities say they are making progress tonight and may be able to avoid a catastrophic disaster. There is desperation to find a solution to this crisis. The tank is located in a densely populated area just miles away from two Disney theme parks, Angel Stadium and Knott's Berry Farm.
The desperate efforts to prevent
At least 50,000 people in Orange County have been forced to evacuate their homes and seek residence in temporary shelters. And the mayor is warning residents not to ignore those evacuation orders, calling this a very dangerous situation. ABC's Jacqueline Lee leads us off from the command center.
Tonight, progress in the desperate efforts to prevent an environmental disaster in Orange County, California. Crews able to get close enough to that unstable 7,000-gallon tank full of hazardous liquid, finding a potential crack, offering a glimmer of hope. Why would this be a good thing?
So the thing about the crack is what we're looking for. It's going to relieve pressure. We want the pressure relieved out of that tank.
He goes on to explain there could still be an explosion, just not a catastrophic one. For days, officials have feared the tank would either explode into a fireball, igniting nearby tanks, or the methyl methacrylate, a highly volatile chemical inside, would leak out. Even short-term exposure could cause skin and eye irritation and breathing problems. More than 50,000 residents remain under evacuation orders. 2 residents filing a class action lawsuit yesterday against GKN Aerospace, the company in charge of the tanks. And tonight, the governor requesting President Trump issue an emergency declaration to support response operations. The EPA saying it has been monitoring air quality since Friday.
We've been involved in the modeling of different scenarios. We're being told that the tank will fail, but there are different scenarios as to what that means.
The evacuation area is a densely populated area and is not far from several major area attractions, including Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, and the Angel Stadium. The Angels going ahead with a game tonight against the Rangers. Officials insisting the areas outside of the evacuation zone are completely safe.
Lindsay, crews will conduct another operation tonight, and if all goes well, it's possible authorities will shrink the evacuation zone. Lindsay.
So many hoping that's the case. Jacqueline, thank you.
All right, guys. So things are not a coincidence. They had a psyop in Korea, and then they had a physical warfare going on, basically with a tank exploding in Southern California. And again, I just wanted to let you guys know that in Korean culture, if it'll let me show you guys, in Korea society, the chaebols or the elites are literally worshipped. They have been worshipped for a very long time. And again, that energetically gives them power, that energetically gives them reign over the people. But you need to know about the elites. Whenever they put their messages in front of the people in the population, they do it so they can continue their agendas. And a lot of these elites, the forefront runners, the CEOs, they are most likely a part of the parasitical bloodline. They're a part of the cannibalistic bloodline that are behind everything, the shadow government, whatever you want to call them. They're all a part of the same family. They're all a part of this parasitical hidden family. And if they are not a part of the bloodline, okay, if they're not a part of the bloodline, that means that they have their handlers are again going back to this bloodline. And I wanted to show you guys this image so you guys get a point. Shout out to any of the people that make these images or make these graphs, because honestly, I would not have the patience. But this literally shows what's going on in front of us, and they're continuing to do even in the last days, So this is their formula. They cause a problem, they cause an uproar, they cause some sort of psychological or ideological response from the people, okay? And then they plan the reaction. They know that you're going to react. They know the population is going to react in some sort of way, or there's going to be some sort of tragedy that's going to happen. The people are going to have some sort of emotional reaction. and they plan it all out. They know that you're going to have a reaction. That's why when you go to protest, that's why when you go to any campaigns or whatever, there's already a pile of bricks waiting. They plan it all out. They know how the people are going to act, and they're going to act emotionally. So the problem reaction, and the people go to the government and say, we want a solution, we want a solution. And so the government's like, oh, you want a solution? Let me give you this solution. Okay, so it's the Hegelian dialectic. They cause the problem, they cause the reaction, and then they give the solution, just like they show in this image. The pandemic happened, they mandated their reaction, they funded the reaction for masks and distancing. And what happened? We now have a bunch of vaccines. We now have a bunch of digital ID, visual ID, and putting microchips in your freaking body, okay, to continue with this artificial world. And all of this, all of these little codes, all of these little messages, all of these reactions and pandemics or whatever, all of these psychological operations is, again, to siphon it towards their agenda. Their agenda: population control, global digital currency, and one world order. We can currently see that everything is crumbling, and the solution they're most likely going to give is like, oh, since everything is crumbling and you want some sort of stability, why not we just unite together all the religions, all of the governments into one harmonious utopian world. Okay? So, the enemies of the people, we all know the billionaire disciples, we all know their names. I also wanted to mention, like, whenever you see names like Bloomberg or Zuckerberg, or again, the Rothschilds or whatever, these names that we always hear, these names go back to, again, the cursed bloodline. They go back to the Canaanites. These go back to the Canaanites, who's also called themselves Phoenicians, who's also called themselves the Khazarian Jews, and they are their disciples. They are just being handled by this 13 family cursed bloodline. And at the very top, we see the shadow government, and we see the Windors, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and the Vatican. Again, names that we're going to always hear throughout history. The Vatican is the head honcho. He's the one, or the Pope is the one that oversees everything, that has been in control of everybody, psychologically, emotionally. Again, subjugating us, not allowing us to know the God self by giving us the prescribed religion, giving us the prescribed way of thinking and ideologies. And the monarchy is the treasurers. They're the one that keeps control or tracks the money that the Pope has all control of, and the central bankers. But we need another column above, because again, their handlers, the people that are actually in control, do not want to be seen. Just like you guys have seen The Wizard of Oz, as they pull away the curtain, it's the same thing that is literally happening in this world. We were in this Luciferian play, and they do not want to be seen. We're never going to know who they are until the very end. And again, these are melanated beings. They are not human. They do not give a shit about us. They do not care about us. And they've been handling the Windsors, the Rockefellers. They've been handling the monarchy. They've been handling the Vatican. So, this is how they play out their codes. This is how they play out their psychological warfare or their physical warfare. So in Korea, it was psychological. In Southern California, again, it was physical with an environmental disaster. And I also wanted to mention that in a metaphorical sense, tank means vessel, and it is basically showing us that they are wanting to erupt the vessels, or the vessels of the people, or the bodies of the people. So again, this is another one of their Masonic or weird coding that they have going on. So causing a reaction, causing the people to react, and basically providing the solution. All right, guys, I want to continue by talking about what's been going on. Again, they are letting us know who the elites are, who have been playing into their hands, who the elites are, who are part of their cursed seed, who are a part of their families, and they're slowly crumbling, and they're slowly revealing and unveiling the people that have been behind the scenes, the ones that, again, who have been controlling the population and the public for a very long time. So they're doing their front men first. Like I showed you guys here, their front men are right here, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Vatican, including the CEOs and the elites, the billionaires, the disciples. They are gonna take those guys out first, and they're doing it blatantly. But they're also doing stuff like this, where they're doing the skin masks or the human masks. And honestly, guys, this has been going on for a long time, but I'm going to show you guys this quick video and let's talk about it. Let's talk about this mess.
Something very weird and creepy happened on. It's not gonna.
Okay, let's see.
Here's that this individual on camera, who may or may not be retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward, looks to be wearing a full-blown silicone face mask. Judge for yourself. Tell me if you can figure out what the hell is happening here. Here's a clip.
He's in the position to demand those. So I think in that sense, he controls the narrative and when he would strike.
Now, usually about this time, the Scooby-Doo gang would show up, rip the mask off, and say, let's see who you really are. Because I gotta tell you, that's floppy. Now, the most obvious and logical explanation, as some of the, actually folks online are saying, is that it's just the shadow because there's multiple different lights hitting the individual. And sure, as somebody who has worked in broadcasting in countless different studios with different lighting setups, backlights, front lights, floor lights, up lights, I've literally never seen that happen to anyone. We have seen weird lighting, we have seen bad lighting, we have seen poor lighting. We have never, in all the 21 years I've been doing this, had lighting so awkward that it made you obviously think, sure, it's...
All right, guys, we're going to stop there. And again, guys, they're letting us know they're getting really messy with it. They're getting really messy with the antics and letting us know that things are not as they seem. The unveiling is happening. Things are happening because we're in the Aquarian age, and they have to let us know. They have to start disclosing things. So they're not giving us the hard disclosure. They're not saying, oh, hey, guess what? The aliens are here and we've been working with them. The government has always had these aliens and blah, blah, blah. They are not giving us the hard disclosure yet because a lot of people are not waking up. But again, they are being very sloppy and they're being very messy on purpose because they're trying to unveil. They're trying to unveil because it has to happen. It's a part of cosmic law at this point. So the skin masks have been going on for, honestly, since media has been playing out. And you guys can check like on TikTok or Occult Talk if you want to. You can see that there's been skin masks with Joe Biden, with Kamala, and some other people. There's also been a lot of news broadcasts lately. News broadcasts are just celebrity interviews where, again, the celebrities have reptilian eyes or they're shifting or they're moving about. And you can clearly see like the light technology or the liquid light technology is not shifting completely with their body because what is underneath is, again, the reptilians, the insectoids, or other races of aliens that, again, that have been working with the so-called shadow government. And they're clearly showing us again that this is happening. I don't know, you guys have probably seen Jim Carrey. They're just being really sloppy and just saying, hey, guess what? This has been a Luciferian play. This has been going on right in front of you, and you guys are still not catching on. You guys are still not getting it. Like, this is still going on. So, wanted to show you guys that because they're fully putting it in our faces. They're fully going out and putting these messages in front of the people because they want to know who has the discernment, who is actually seeing the truth, who is actually playing a part of the population that's actually waking up. All right, guys, I wanted to show the orbs because there's been a lot of news broadcasts that have been going on. This is 2 months ago, but I think it is really beautiful, so I'm going to show it. And I also wanted to mention or preface again the orbs are Etherian beings, okay? So BDL 1014, he has been talking about this in his past broadcasts or transmissions. You should look up his channel, BDL 1014. He's been talking about this, but when you have ascended enough, you do not necessarily need to reincarnate on Earth. You do not necessarily need to have a physical vessel to move about. So, these Etherian beings or light beings can move about and they can do it. Again, they can do it in the form of an orb because when you guys come out of your bodies, when you do come out of your bodies, you don't necessarily need to have a physical form. You don't need to visually look like a human. And when you guys, again, when people go out of the body and they meet like their past loved ones or their ancestors or whatever, usually they come to you in the form of a physical body because you relate to it more, you connect with it more, but they don't necessarily need to have that physical form. They don't need to necessarily have the human appearance. So, I wanted to show you guys this. This happened about 2 months ago. There's recent news updates about the orbs, and they're all different colors, but I wanted to show this one because there is like a mass array of them. So let's watch it.
Another bright one coming up. No. Whoa. Oh. Another one coming up. Oh my god, off to the right.
Yeah, I see it. Oh.
Jeez. Hello, my friends. Oh, and another one.
There's like 4 on the other side. There's now 2. Too bright in the middle. Oh,
Another one.
oh, oh, oh. It's so bright.
Here it comes.
Whoa.
Hello.
Just freaking out.
Alright guys, I think I'm going to stop the video there, and I would highly recommend you guys go check this video out. It's really beautiful. If we notice the video, the way that they're moving, again, is not like the artificial technology that we have. It's not like the UFOs that are run by the government, because the government UFOs, again, are usually the spherical ones, the ones that we always see like in the movies, but this is moving about in different directions, and They are orbs, okay? These are the Ethereum beings that are on Earth, and just wanted to let you guys know that there is a whole legion, there's a whole armada of spaceships just above us, cloaking themselves as clouds. Again, letting us know that they're there, but not letting us know just quite yet that they are there. And also, according to as per Rod Hayes, you should go check him out. There is a mothership that is cloaking itself over the earth right now because again, they're here because the unveiling is happening, okay? There is no longer a constraint, there's no longer a lockout, there's no longer a light lock on Earth. Okay, we're not contained in any sort of environment anymore. More of the Ethereal beings, more of the ETs are here because they're waiting and they are helping with the ascension time. So those are the orbs, and I also wanted to show this quick video of the meteorites, and I also want to let you guys know that just because they say it's a meteor doesn't mean it's actually a meteor. A lot of the times it's just it could be a spaceship. Okay, it could be a spaceship, it could be a meteor, or it could be a satellite that's been shot down. So these are the things that are happening, and this happened about 2 months ago, but again, it's still happening. There's still things that are in the airspace, that are still in the Earth space, that are reaching us, because again, we are no longer in a light lock. We're no longer contained in this Earth. It's not necessarily a dome, but again, we were contained, we were surrounded by the light lock technology.
This ball of fire streaking across the night sky. The latest in a string of stellar sightings seen here overnight in California. Whoa! And Space City living up to its name. Did y'all see that? With this one Saturday afternoon in Houston.
It's going to be an explosion. A meteorite or a missile fell out of the sky.
Traveling at 35,000 miles per hour, NASA says.
That's where it came in at.
Part of it crashing through this woman's roof, leaving a massive crater.
And just boom, then I heard a boom.
The meteor was about 3 feet in diameter, NASA says, and weighed about a ton before it broke apart in the sky, sending researchers and hunters alike to this park searching for fragments.
Yeah, so I found 2 meteorites this morning.
So how does it feel?
I was very excited. You know, it's very exciting to find it and know that you're holding something that just 2 days ago was in space.
3 galactic spectacles in the past week, experts say.
Oh, what the was that?
This in Ohio.
The size of the meteor is pretty big. You can see the fireball more easily.
An out-of-this-world experience that one need only look up to see. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News, Spring.
Alright guys, so again, they're letting us know that things are not normal anymore. Again, we're starting to see things that we don't normally see in the space, in the airspace. So it's just going to continue to happen. You need to use your own discernment, whether, again, it's a satellite that's falling from the ground, it's a spaceship, or it's an orb. So I wanted to end off the video again on a lighter note, and again looking up at the stars, looking up at what's going on in the heavens, because whatever is happening in the heavens is also happening inside of you. And this week especially, something is happening, and again, this has precedent, this has prominence on a spiritual level. So I wanted us to watch this video about the Jupiter-Venus conjunction because it is very, very important. And again, I don't know why it wants to automatically mute the freaking video as soon as I want to play it. So we gotta mute. See if it mutes the video. Yep, it mutes the video.
On the evening of June 9th, Earth, Venus, and Jupiter will line up in space. And from our point of view, the 2 brightest planets in the sky will appear so close together, they'll almost look like a single dazzling star, glowing in front of the constellation Gemini. And the best part? You don't need any telescope or binoculars to see it. Just step outside about 45 minutes after sunset and look west. You'll spot two brilliant points of light shining side by side. The brighter one is Venus. The slightly dimmer one is Jupiter. But here's the mind-bending truth behind this alignment. These planets aren't actually close together at all. On that night, Venus will be about 80 million kilometers from Earth. Jupiter will be over 900 million kilometers away. That's more than 10 times farther. They only appear to line up because Earth, Venus, and Jupiter fall along the same line of sight. And here's the most beautiful part. You don't have to wait for June 9th. Starting tonight, you can step out every evening and watch these two planets drift a little closer with each passing night, like two old friends slowly walking towards each other until they finally meet on June 9th. Now here's one last thing. Share this video so that everyone can know about it on time. And to get regular space updates,
All right, guys. So, as I've been talking about in my videos, April again was the Aries month. It was the divine masculine month. It was very fiery. A lot of things were happening. And then May is for the mothers. It was the divine feminine month. So all of these energies were colliding and happening one by one. And now everything is going to coalesce and collide in June because the divine masculine, represented by Jupiter, and the divine feminine, represented by Venus, is coming together. And the divine masculine, again, is exalting Venus. Venus is looking like a bright Merkaba up in the sky. She is directly going to transmit her energy towards Earth because it's all aligning, it's all showing us what's been going on. So the feminine fire is going to be very intense. It's going to be very prominent this month. And like I've been saying, like a lot of people have been saying, June and July are not going to be normal months. And whether that happens on the material plane, it's going to definitely happen on the spiritual plane. And we can definitely see it because Venus is one of the benefic planets, and she is the female mother planet. So she is represented by Isis, she's represented by Hathor, she's represented by Shakti, and Jupiter is going to be Osiris, Jupiter is going to be Shiva, and again, the divine masculine is always going to exalt the divine feminine because that is what we have been missing on this planet. This is why everything has been in turmoil. This is why everything has been upside down and inverted because the divine feminine has been subjugated. And they have done it on purpose because they know this is a feminine planet. They know that Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, is alive and she is also waking up. She is also the one that is helping us on our ascension as she is ascending as well. So, Venus, her energy is going to be there. Jupiter, divine masculine energy is going to be there. This is a very spiritual thing that again is happening because as Thoth said, as above, so below, as within, so without, as without, so within. So, think about what this means to you. Meditate on this. Make sure that you guys are harnessing these energies. You're looking up at the night sky because honestly, this will have an impact on you if you look up and you see it for yourself and you're harnessing this energy, this time for yourself, and you're vibrating on that joy and bliss energy. You're vibrating on that energy of the mother, the divine mother, the Isis energy. Because again, when all the women start to wake up, when all the mitochondria starts to link up together, this is when everything turns back into peace. This is when earth becomes heaven again. This is when everything is restored. The balance is restored because the divine masculine is there, the divine feminine is there, and she's being exalted on this planet, on this divine feminine matriarchal planet. Alright guys, I wanted to give you guys these codes, these messages, again, that the parasitical elite are putting in front of our faces. They're trying to subjugate the people, but again, it's not working. Even no matter how many psychological operations, no matter how much warfare they're going to put in front of our face, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because no matter what they did, they looked at the timelines, okay, Project Looking Glass. They looked through the timelines, and every single timeline, we woke up. We went into the new reality. We were in the golden age. So, make yourself aware, think about this stuff, meditate upon it, and just realize that you are the one in control of your energy. You are the one in control of what you consume on a daily basis. You are the one that, again, should be protecting. You're the one that should be clearing your energies. You should be the one that should harness the correct energies, the good energies that we actually need on this earth, because you're going to affect other people. You're going to start to affect them with your light, like a lighthouse. And yeah, guys, this is what I wanted to end off on. Let me know what you guys think about these messages. I just wanted to come on here really quick. I'm not gonna edit the video. I'm just gonna let it play like a live video. So yeah, guys. Let me know what you guys have been seeing up in the skies, what you guys have been feeling, what you guys have been interacting with, or what you guys have been channeling lately. And yep, I'm gonna leave it as there. So let me know. See you guys later.